Civil War by Veronica, Mike, Jaclyn, and Danny. In the 1800s, the North and South were always fighting over things just like younger siblings would. Some geographical differences in the South was that they had very hot summers and mild winters. In the North, they had cold winters and hot summers. In the war, the South had certain geographical advantages against the North, like they had a lot of open farmland, and the North had to climb uphill to get to the South. The North did not have any good land to grow food. Instead, their land was filled with cities and factories. They did not have a lot of open land that they knew how to get around, so they would easily get lost. Slavery was very important to the South. Slaves helped produce cotton in the South during the Civil War. The North would fight over slavery with the South, just like the siblings argued over things. But the North wanted slavery banned from the South. That was part of the reason why the Civil War started. There were also many compromises that ended slavery in certain places. Some compromises were the Missouri Compromise of 1820. In this compromise, Missouri went to the South as a slave state, and Maine went to the North as a free state. The Louisiana Purchase was cut in two parts. The North got the top half, and the South got the bottom half. There was no slave trade in Washington, D.C. The South got New Mexico and Utah. Also, a fugitive slave law was enforced. The Dred Scott case caused African Americans to not be able to sue the North, and Scott went back to the South as a slave. Just like little siblings have no power over bigger siblings, like Scott had no power over the North. There were many major battles during the Civil War. The North bombed Fort Sumter in the South, which started the Civil War. The Battle of Bull Run was the first major battle of the Civil War fought in Virginia. The Battle for Gettysburg was fought in 1863 in Pennsylvania and was one of the most important battles in the Civil War. The Appomattox Courthouse was a Virginia town that was the site of Confederate surrender. People had different point of views on the North and South. The North wanted slavery banned and the South to be one country again. The South wanted to keep slavery and be an independent country. The South also had cotton, which was very important to them. The South needed slaves because they picked the seeds out of the cotton. Then they invented the cotton gin, which picked seeds from the cotton faster than slaves did, so they didn't need them anymore. The northern point of view is the factories were very important to them. They were located everywhere in the city. After the Civil War, the Union won over the Confederacy. Some things helped them win, like the mini-ball, musket, railroads, and Morse code. Also, the South had to rebuild all the destruction caused by the North during the Civil War. Slavery was also banned, and the North and South became one country again. The Civil War made the U.S. a better country because if there was no Civil War, then the U.S. would still be in two different parts. Also, if there was no Civil War, we would still be fighting today, and there would still be slavery.